Hey, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out the Ample China collection from Ample Sound. This 38GB 6-instrument Chinese collection will set you back $479 when bought as a collection from the Ample Sound website, but you can buy each instrument individually. Now, Ample Sound do run sales quite regularly, so it's worth checking to see if you can get these separate instruments a bit cheaper. But for $479, you get everything that you need. Now, these instruments are perfect for detailed, authentic Chinese performances, but also for cinematic music. And the whole point of the Sampleist is to talk about not only how the instruments sound and what they're all about, but also how we use them in compositions and what that experience is like. Before we go any further, we're going to dive in and check out each of the 6 instruments and see what they're all about. I've loaded up the 6 instruments onto a separate track, and I've also loaded a Zheng phrase track just so we can jump into a few more phrases a bit easier. Now we've got the China Dadi first, so if we open it up, and everything works in the own Ample China player. In fact, when you load an instrument, if you type in Ample, and then you get everything there, which is really, really cool. So nice and straightforward. Anyway, let's load up. And the GUI is great. And each instrument shares a very, very similar GUI. Really straightforward to use. So we have a picture of the instrument, and then below that we've got all the articulations. So if I was to play... So that is the sustain articulation. Now you can key switch through different articulations. So if I play with my right hand, I'm using a 61 key keyboard. And what I like doing is recording in my melody and then using the key switches, only because that works better for my workflow. But you can see you got all of these different articulations. You've got different mic options. So there's 4 mics, and then the master, you can pan left and right. The key will change the instruments, almost like tuning, or the intervals. So it doesn't quite change the phrases, which we'll talk about in a moment. Yeah, then you got your expression, different effects, release, breathing, and wind. I love the breathing sounds. Which is very, very cool. And then you have 4 different play modes. Well, different different modes. So you got instrument mode or keyboard mode. Which means it will keep the same articulation. If we go to instrument mode, I should change them. Yeah, and then we have we have the. There we go. I love the fact you get bubbles. So random articulation. This is really good fun. Oh, yeah. So you need to separate those notes, and then you can have legato mode. Different velocity will affect the legato, and you can have slides. So a few more controls, and then you can have infinite sample mode, which is really useful. if you really want to kill your wind player by not allowing them to breathe, use that mode. So the controls are really straightforward, and then you have just like an EQ, compressor, echo, reverb. These are all the instruments, different settings. Yeah, so things to play with, but out of the box you don't really need to. And then you can change the tuning of individual notes and articulations. So loads and loads of detail there, but really what we're concerned with of all these instruments are the keys. So the white is the playing range, and then on the left hand side you've got 2 octaves worth of articulations. Some random things there, and they got different sounds towards the top. Oh, that was a little bit loud, that one. Let's go bring the volume down. So yeah, some pretty cool sort of more performance-based sounds. Now, good job I brought the sound down, because at the top the only thing I haven't spoken about is the articulations, not articulations, sorry, the presets. So this is Singing of Dragon. And it sounds just gorgeous, but you get that lovely instant cinema. Did turn down a little bit too much. And the instruments are incredibly responsive. So that's the Dadi. Now we have the Dongxiao, which again is a sort of flute-based instrument. It's a bit warmer, that's how I describe it, but again, responsive. Absolutely stunning. Now, if I go for distant sound, I love these big dramatic presets, and I'll play through some of the articulations. Got a bit farther. Lovely. Did sound a little bit quiet. Let's bring that up a bit more. Again, sounds stunning. Let's go for the Erhu. I'm just going to bring that down as well, or that up. Erhu is a bowed instrument. The legato is absolutely stunning on this Erhu. So let's play a couple of articulations. So again, absolutely gorgeous sounding instrument. Let's go for the Pipa. Now, this is like a small guitar, I guess. Bit more high pitched. Yeah, it just sounds cool. So I love the different presets on this one. So we've got Golden Snake Dance. Sounds very, very ambient. I would notice that the GUI is a little bit different. Sounds great. Let's go back to default. And we'll have some articulations. Now there's less articulations on this one. Love those harmonics. So yeah, again, absolutely gorgeous instrument. Then the Quidi, which is a smaller, more higher pitched type flute. Let's go turn up the volume on that one. So yeah, you get the idea. Again, this is why I don't perform key switches live. And then you've got the Zheng. Yeah, it just sounds absolutely lovely. I'm just going to make this a little bit louder. I've got the silk preset going on, so it's just nice and ambient. And again, you could play some So yeah, the articulations, absolutely ace. Now, every instrument has got phrases going on. So that's in the chord down there. And the phrase is really, really simple. You just click the phrase articulation or the lick, and then just press a key until you find one that you like. So I'm just going to bring the volume up again. So they all fit together beautifully. Now, if you click on the key change, it doesn't change the key. It just changes the tuning in the UI. So you can't sort of fit these to any key or use key switches to change them, but what you can do is use pitch shifting software, which is what I'm going to show later in the compositional side. You can also change tempo. These aren't tempo synced, but you can just bounce them to audio and stretch them out as well. So they work beautifully well. Absolutely love them. So it's worth listening just to some other phrases. So again, you just click on the licks. So that's the Dadi ones. So listen to some Dongxiao. And personally, I've not really felt the need to stretch these out, particularly when I'm working with them. Oops. Let's go for the Pipa. There's no licks on this one. That's a good shout. Worthy of note, no licks. Quidi. There are licks here. So it's a very agile instrument. And then the Zheng back here again. So just click on there. Sound beautiful. And then finally we have a glissando mode just to talk about on the Zheng. So it kind of walks between different notes that you hold, and there are different speeds, if I remember. That's just the sound. There you go. So it's depending on the velocity. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's quite a loud walk up there, but there we go. So that's the instruments. It's a quick overview. Obviously check out the Ample Sound website to get more details. They've got loads of videos going on there, but again, straight out of the box, these sound absolutely awesome. What we're going to do now is just listen to a composition and see how they fare in the field when we're creating a piece of music. And now we know what the instruments sound like out of the box, and we've heard a composition. Let's talk about how easy they are to use in a composition. Now, I went down more of the cinematic route, but these instruments are perfect for a detailed, authentic Chinese performance as well. Let's listen to the Erhu and just see what it sounds like. So out of the box, you get that amazing, gorgeous sounding legato. If I remove the little volume swell I did, you can just hear what the attack is like. Absolutely fine, but it's just a compositional choice I made because I wanted it to be a bit more of a dramatic swell. But the Erhu, it is just out of the box. No preset, sounds amazing. But the Pipa, if I play that, it sounds like it's struggling, but it really isn't. It's just the long resonance. And if I add the Zheng, you get that really, really cool effect. And I treated these a bit more like a ostinato, and they just give this foundation to the piece. And then with some really basic percussion, we have our foundation. And you heard there the Zheng or the Guzheng phrases. These are absolutely lovely, and there are so many. There's one map to virtually every key once you've got that key switch engaged. However, the instrument makes it look a little bit like you can change the key of the phrases, but that changes the tuning of the instruments. Okay, so what we need to do is use either pitch shift software. So I use Little Alter Boy. I didn't have to change that one, but if I put it up 3 semitones and play it in context, Doesn't quite fit. If I go to 5, link those. They do fit. However, I just found at 0, no changes required. Works great. So you've got to use your ears for those. And the other one is they are not tempo synced to your DAW. So if we go, let's do something a bit extreme, 180. You can hear they aren't. I don't actually have a tempo control there. Just going to remove that. Stay at 180. What do we do in that case? Well, what you can do is just bounce to audio, so render in place. And then if you use sizing applies time stretch, you can lengthen the audio so it stretches the sound out. So I'm just going to exaggerate that. So you can hear the artifacts there. If I just go a little less dramatic. So you can change the speed as much as you need to. That sounds fine. Obviously you can't go to massive extremes, but that really works. So it's just like using WAV files. I compose WAV files all the time, and I'm forever changing the pitches or changing the tempo to make it match. Works great. Now we've got the Dadi next. Just going back up. Shortcut 1 if you're on Cubase. Always handy. So the Dadi, I didn't use any articulation key switches here. Just going to solo that. So it is really responsive, and that's what is so important about this. I like the wind players to be able to breathe. Which you can obviously do by adding little pauses. The transitions between notes are great, and you can actually hear like the when the note, like the sample is hit. It's like the performer's right there in front of you. But yeah, incredibly responsive. On this occasion, I'm actually playing on the grid. Generally, I'm using a negative delay of -30, which just sort of throws it completely in time. But yeah, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Now the Dongxiao, I decided I did want some articulations. So if we just open this up, and the key switches down the bottom. So again, not completely on the grid, and if I've got an articulation going on like I have here, you need to sort of factor in that has to land kind of as close to the beat as you can. But not playing on the grid is really, really important. If you put everything on the grid, it will sound too mechanical. And you can see here, which is the sort of pluck part, I've just used the soft quantize feature, which I set to about 60%, and you just get this more lifelike performance, as it were. So that's a Dadi, and I'm using a preset called the Singing of Dragon. Now, this preset just gives that amazing kind of delay and reverb. If I was playing it in context. And I absolutely love those performance articulations. And you can see I've used several articulations there, and it's just such smooth playback. And then we've got the Erhu again. And I like combining the instruments, so Dadi and Erhu together. Just creating different sonic combinations. And then we've got another phrase. And I did decide to add some elvish voices. Just because I really like them and they sound quite mystical. And then we go into our last section. Now we've got the Quidi. And I didn't use the key switches again. It just sounds stunning. Now in my master, it's it pushes through when I've got the master bus all working, but I don't at the moment, so I'm just going to bring it up. But it really carries the entire orchestra. I love the progressive vibrato and just the overall timbre of that instrument. It sounds amazing. And then we've got the instruments working together. Another walk up. And we end with the final phrase and a automated fade out on the master bus. So yeah, fantastic instruments to use. You don't need to automate, like say, volume swells. You don't have to play on the grid and use negative delay. I just like to compose that way. I do like drawing in my own modulation arcs, etc. as well. So yeah, it's completely up to you how you do it, especially when you're working with strings. It's just little techniques and workflow things that you pick up as you go. But in terms of performance, if I just go on to audio performance, now I'm using a Ryzen 5900X with 64 gigabytes. It's quite slow memory. It's 2400 megahertz because I never got around to upgrading it. And yeah, the audio performance is great. Oh, just punched the mic there. It is 512 buffer. So there's no issues with performance, and I won't name the libraries, but some of these string libraries are really big and hefty. So the performance of the Ample China instruments is quite lightweight, and there's been no issues, no pops, no crashes, no times I've had to reload the instruments. It's been a really streamlined and fun experience composing with them. In conclusion, the Ample China collection just screams instant cinema. If you're creating cinematic music and you need a Chinese influence, these instruments are perfect. They are so much fun to use and so easy to use, but you get obviously great sounding instruments. You get all of the different articulations, and there are plenty, loads of different instrument options, presets within the instruments, and of course the phrases. Obviously, you need to manipulate these phrases depending on your project setup, but when you get it to fit and sync, it's absolutely perfect. And of course, you can just build compositions using just these phrases as well. In terms of stability, the instruments are so well designed. They are stable, they don't crash. It was just the most streamlined experience working with all 6 of these instruments. Would I buy them? I make a lot of world music, and I would certainly buy them. I use a lot of other developers' Chinese instruments, or just generally world instruments, and comparing, so I don't want to compare to anyone specifically, but yeah, these are just so straightforward but fun and interesting and exciting to use. Do I recommend them? Yeah, it's just a wholehearted yes. Thank you for checking out this video with us. It's the first video we've actually made for the channel, and we hope you like the format, just focusing on composing with the instruments. If you like what you heard, please leave a comment or drop us a thumbs up and subscribe to our brand new channel. And we also have a website called The Sampleist, www.thesampleist.com. That's going to be filling up anytime soon. We do have a Ample Sound giveaway. The wonderful people at Ample Sound have given us 3 prizes. They're all the same. They are instrument of your choice from the Ample Sound collection, and there are some amazing instruments there. I'm a guitarist myself, play guitar for the last 32 years, and I record all my own guitars, but Ample Sound have actually got me using guitar VSTs quite frequently because they do sound brilliant and they've got the same functionality. So head over to our website and you can find out more about our competitions, more about different instruments that are being released, and of course our composing gems, which is where we look at our favourite instruments over the years and giving them some love. Until next time, have a great day, and thank you once again for checking out this brand new channel.